and where we are on the COVID-19 mark. And right now we are at the 53,021 COVID-19 positive cases mark. But out of the 53,021, it is very, very encouraging to know that over 40,000 of those numbers have been released, have been discharged. But it's sad that there are people all over the world, whenever they hear about the death toll of COVID-19, they will know that one family member out of the over 1,000 people that we have lost to COVID-19 was somebody that they knew. We definitely can say that we're very grateful in Nigeria, because the death toll in some European countries, like, in the UK, in America, for example, the death toll has been really, really high. So it's something that we can say that the fact that is at just a little over 1,000 is something we can say is very, but then 1,000 of those people, like I said, one person will feel that maybe it's their father, their mother, their uncle, someone that they relate to. And even if it's just one person, it hurts somebody out there to see the number of COVID-19 deaths we have. Anyway, all right, so let me give you a bit of a backstory before I bring my guests on. The COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria is part of the worldwide pandemic of coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19, caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. The first confirmed case in Nigeria was announced on 27th of February 2020 when an Italian citizen in Lagos tested positive for the virus. And on 9th March 2020, a second case of the virus was reported in Ewekoro, Ogun State, a Nigerian citizen who had contact with the Italian citizen. All right, so I know for some of you, so there's some people out there who still believe that, there's nothing like coronavirus. Our politicians or political leaders are just, are cooking up stories in order to, get us to do whatever and whatever. But there are certain people, for me, it was important to bring these people here to let you know that coronavirus is real. So as much as, yes, the numbers are sort of dropping, people are not as conscious of coronavirus, especially here in Ibadan. People visit from Lagos and think, are you people experiencing what we're experiencing? In Lagos, I think people take it more seriously, even to some extent, they have also sort of lowered their guards. People are not wearing their face masks like they used to or as they ought to. People are not social distancing. You still go to the supermarket. I'm trying to buy something at the till, and somebody's right there behind me as if, and I often have to tell people, can you just move back a little bit? There's still coronavirus out there. So we need to continue to wash our hands, use our hand sanitizers, wear our mask, and do the things that we need to in order to get coronavirus out of our country. All right, I'm going to be talking to two people, and these two ladies that I have here are people that have, that tested positive to coronavirus. And then, of course, they had to go through the period through which, to the point where they have tested negative to coronavirus. But in between testing positive and testing negative, there's a big story, a big terrifying story that they're going to be sharing with us on today's edition of Beyond the Surface. And I'm really excited to have them come here. Also to let you know that coronavirus is real. What are the things that people are saying on the news, people are experiencing, it is real. So we still have to be conscious. We still have to take precautions and make sure we're doing the right thing. So I have these two ladies here. I've got Moji and I've got Buki in the studio. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
It's good to have you here at Splash 105.5 FM. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so I guess I'm going to start from the beginning to the point where you, I know that you lost your dads to complications from coronavirus. Mm-hmm. Before all of this happened, before you lost your dad, which also brought on you getting tested and all of that, what were you doing at the time? Were you on lockdown, meaning you're not working? Were you still going out as usual? Where were you both at the time when coronavirus had become a thing in Nigeria, Moji?
I was actually, they had just lifted the lockdown.
Okay.
Yes, and I wasn't going back to work full time. I was still working from home. So
okay.
literally, I was still at home.
Okay.
So I hadn't started going to work unless there was an important meeting I had to be at, which I was at. But apart from that, I was basically at home.
Okay, and you were washing your hands. Your children you have children.
Yes.
Okay.
Washing my hands, sanitizing. The kids were at home. They're not going anywhere. The only place I went to was a supermarket or maybe a few meetings, but not a lot of meetings. But basically just shopping and coming back home.
All right. So, Buki, tell us where you were at the time and what was happening. What were you doing at the time?
I was working from home as well, and because I'm a sickler.
Okay.
I had to take extra care to not go out so much, and every time I went out, I was always, masked up, holding my sanitizers, my sprays, and I made sure that I didn't even touch anybody because I had to be extra careful. I was always taking my vitamin C, always trying to keep my immune system up, always drinking water. So I was taking extra care to not be contacted in any way, to not get myself in contact with anybody that might have any kind of cold, even not even the COVID, even from a sneeze. I would spray myself from head to toe, take a bath every time I went out. So I was super careful.
So you're not one of those who thought coronavirus, I cannot get to it. You really did believe that was out there. And
no, I wasn't taking any chances.
I wasn't taking chances.
I really believed it.
Especially because, you have children and you are living with sickle cell as well. So you had, I can imagine also because for me too, at some point I just felt, Lord, I don't want to get home. And then, so I was also very conscious about if my children were hugging me. I think for me, it was more, I don't want to, even if I get it, I feel like, oh. Anyway, moving on. So then let's move on to the point where your dad got sick.
Yes.
Okay, so how did you discover that it was coronavirus?
My dad got sick and I had to go pick him up. But the symptoms he was displaying were not symptoms of COVID.
Okay.
It was more of, it looked like an infection to me anyway. I wasn't a doctor, so I wanted to take him straight to the hospital. So I did that, and they ran an extensive test. They ran a really extensive test. Came back as infection, and they said his prostate was enlarged, and that they had to work on that. But the infection had to go down first before treating the prostate.
Yes.
So then, of course, we brought up the COVID test and all, and they said, okay, yes, that. At that time, you have to register, and then they call you to come and take the test. So it wasn't immediately like now.
Yes.
So we registered him for the test, and meanwhile, the doctors were saying, this doesn't look like COVID. It doesn't show any symptoms of COVID.
Yes.
And although every time I was in the hospital, yes, I had to wear my face mask and wash my hands before you enter and when you exit. So basically, we're doing all that.
All the right things.
And it was just a couple of days into his hospital stay that he started breathing. Yes, he started having difficulty breathing.
Yes.
And then we
thought, this must be COVID.
Yeah. Then we thought it must be. And but by that time, it went from like 0 to 100.
Wow.
From just wheezing to he couldn't breathe, then he couldn't talk.
Wow.
So
and how long was this? Was it days or
it
hours?
was actually this was on it started on the wheezing started, I would say, Saturday.
Okay.
Yes. So by Sunday he really couldn't talk. So we booked an appointment. We had to make it sort of like an emergency to the end, to where they take the test. I think it's in I can't remember the name now, in Yaba there. So we booked him for the test, and we were going to go for the test on Monday morning when he couldn't make the trip. He gave up on Monday morning.
Okay, so they did the test
after he died. Yes. So we had to bring a technician to come and take the tests, and then before the test came out, it was about almost a week.
Wow.
Yes. But after he died, because we were suspecting COVID, as soon as I got home, my husband, honestly, I literally did not even touch anywhere.
Right.
I had to change in the car. I removed my clothes, changed in the car, went into the room. The children were not allowed because I have 8-year-old twins and I have an older son. Yes. 9 years old. So they were not allowed to come near me. And I went straight into the guest room and I had a bath, so I was not in contact with the kids at all.
Okay.
Until when the test came out, like a week later, and they showed.
So you did the test before your dad's result came out that he was positive for COVID?
No, it was after. I did the test. After,
when it was confirmed that he had COVID?
Yes.
Was when you decided to do the test?
Yes.
So Buki, how much contact did you have with your dad or with anybody who had COVID, and why did you now think you had to do the test as well?
Well, I literally did not have any. I don't remember touching him in any way, because I remember every time I went before I even went to the hospital, I didn't go immediately. I called to ask if it was safe for me to come, because I know I'm a special case. So I didn't go immediately. It was when the doctor said, well, he wasn't showing any symptoms, that I actually then went there to see him. And every time I washed my hands, every time before I went in, I used the hand sanitizer. Every time I went out, I washed my hands. Every time I go home, I took a bath.
Right.
Even though he wasn't showing any symptoms, I was kind of confident that, okay, it wasn't COVID. But there was I remember one time that his wallet fell down on the floor, and I just helped him pick it up and I put it in his pocket. I think that was the only contact I had with him.
Yes.
And when my sister tested positive, that's when
you didn't test at the same time as your sister?
No, I didn't. I tested after because I thought
it can never be
because I wasn't showing any symptoms, and I'm like, okay, I'm not showing any symptoms now. It can't be. So when she called and said it was positive, my heart just went kikum. And my heart dropped, and I was like, God. And I knew that I could not go to the Yaba Center like everyone else because I didn't want to, expose myself to something I didn't think I had.
Right.
So I had to make some calls, and my boss at work got me a private testing.
Wow. And this private testing, the government testing is free.
Yes.
And the private testing costs
100,000
naira.
Yes.
Oh my days. Okay. All right. So let's go back to Moji. And when you discovered, did you get an email? Did they call you to say you're positive? What's the process?
It was an email. And the only reason it came out, I think it came out about 2 days after we took the test because my husband knows someone there. So he pushed it.
Yes.
So after my dad came out positive, we decided, okay, we do the test. I didn't do for the kids because I literally thought I was going to die if they came out positive. So I said, no. I would prefer to just take it one day at a time. So my husband and I took the test, and then 2 days later I came out positive, and I called my sister. I said, I'm positive.
Oh my days.
So you might as well just take the test because you were there as well. So
as someone living with sickle cell, did you think, oh my days, am I gonna die?
Oh my God, it was super scary because it started with a cold. So the minute
so you were symptomatic?
Yes.
Okay.
The minute I started sneezing,
Before you took the test?
Before I took the test, I just thought, oh my God, okay, we're going to handle this like it is a cold, it is a flu. I'm just sneezing. I have allergies. So I started sneezing, and then the next morning I woke up with a blocked nose, and I thought, oh my God, my mom is 70 something. I'm like, I just started freaking out. So I thought, okay, let me not touch anything. Let me not alarm anybody.
Did you tell your mom?
I didn't tell my mom. I just told her it was the flu, and she just kept... She just treated it like, okay, we have faith, there is nothing more.
Yes.
So every time I told her to wash her hands after touching me, she'll say, why are you being paranoid? Are you saying that you have in Jesus' name? She'll quote the Bible, and I'll be like, okay, mommy, it's just the flu, but I don't want you to have a cold as well. It is not COVID. Then I went for the test. I actually did tell her that I was going for the test. And she said, okay, it's fine, don't worry, you're good in Jesus' name. Went for the private test, and then, but I kind of sort of knew, but I was in denial.
So the private test, took how long? I mean, for it to cost that much, was it immediately?
It was 24 hours.
Okay.
It came out the next day.
Wow. Okay.
So,
all right. So for those who may not know, I'm sure a lot of people know that the thing with COVID is the people who have underlying health conditions should be more wary. That's why Buki, for example, is talking about how she's living with sickle cell. So for her, it was scarier. So their dad, you had talked about him having a prostrate condition as well.
Yes.
So elderly people are people who should be, obviously, who are more sensitive or who are more likely to have complications from COVID. Elderly people with heart conditions, people with any kind of health condition, people with respiratory conditions as well. So oftentimes when people say, take COVID seriously, it may not be about you, but it may be about somebody you will be in contact with who will not handle it as well as you. So you may go around and be partying and go home to your wife who perhaps is a sickler or has heart conditions or has respiratory conditions, and then they might not survive it. You may even be asymptomatic. And I remember a story that went on social media about a man whose wife was pregnant and she was saying he should stay home and he wanted to party. He then eventually went out to party, brought home COVID, and it was his wife who had a miscarriage, who handled it. She almost died. So people were asking, should she forgive him or not? But anyway, that's by the way. We're going to take a short commercial break. For those who are just joining in, we're talking to two ladies who got coronavirus, and they could talking to us about their terrifying experience with losing their dad to coronavirus, and then the whole family testing positive. So there's more, and I really want you to listen to this because hopefully it will give us more reinforced energy to go back to taking better precautions to COVID-19. For those who are watching us live on Facebook, we appreciate you. We thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back with these two ladies who will tell us more about their real life account of COVID-19. Don't go away.
Splash FM 105.5.
tí ẹ bá délé ọlọ́kà tẹ̀fẹ̀ tẹ̀ra yín lọ́rùn ẹ ó wí pé.
ẹ dákun ẹ fún mi ní àmàlà mẹ́rin pẹ̀lú gbẹ̀gìrì àti ewédú ẹ fi fùkù ṣàtì kọ̀kọ̀tọ̀ àbọ̀dì ògúnfe.
ṣùgbọ́n tẹ bá fẹ́ ra ògùn ibà ẹ wà sọ pé.
ṣebí ibà ni.
bí ẹ ṣe máa ra oúnjẹ sínú yín bẹ́ẹ̀ gẹ́lẹ́ ló yẹ kẹ́ ẹ máa ra ògùn ibà yín ẹ máa ra Coartem ó wà lóní hóró aládùn ṣẹ́rì fún àwọn ọmọdé má fi ibà ṣeré yan èyí tó tọ́ láàyò yan Coartem tí kò bá sí àyípadà lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta lọ rí dókítà rẹ̀.
Mama, put Radiant detergent. Bobo, baby, put Radiant detergent. Even for white, put Radiant detergent. Everybody Radiant, Radiant, shine, oh.
Shine like diamond, do yanga like peacock. The new Radiant detergent powder go make your old and new clothes them bright like star. And the price na shaking money.
Everybody Radiant, Radiant, shine, oh.
Radiant detergent powder. Dazzling bright clothes.
Oh, my stomach.
Stomach discomfort, burning sensation in the throat, chest or stomach. Andrew's liver salts fight indigestion and heartburn fast. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor.
Every single morning, I wake up feeling ginger. No time for darling, so I stay woke like a dreamer. Let them say whatever, but I still there on the matter. And I promise to never stop till I get to the top of the ladder.
Introducing the new Peak Yogurt, the exciting drink that gives you tasty nourishment in every sip for you to be you, do you, and go for you. Peak Yogurt comes in orange, strawberry, and plain sweetened flavor, all available in nearby stores.
Oh, go for you, go for you. You go the choppy, hey, go for you, must go reach my peak.
Reach for your peak.
I'm the first class truck driver.
Yes, it's Panadol Extra Caplets. Panadol Extra is now also available in a smaller pack of 4 caplets at only 50 naira. Same Panadol Extra Caplets that relieves headache, backache, muscle ache, menstrual pain, and toothache. If it's not Panadol, it's not the same thing as Panadol. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult a doctor. Panadol Extra contains paracetamol and caffeine. Not recommended in pregnancy and children under 12.
It's the Samsung Blue Tag Sale. Samsung's biggest sale of the year. Get up to 100,000 Naira instant gift back on all Samsung smartphones and select Samsung TVs, refrigerators, air conditioners, and washing machines. Don't miss this great opportunity to get your favorite Samsung products with this unbeatable deals. So, what are you waiting for? Hurry now while stock lasts. Promo runs from 17th of August to the 6th of September. T's and C's apply. For more information, visit Samsung.com or call 0800 Samsung.
Mama, put Radiant detergent. Bobo, baby, put Radiant detergent. Even for white, put Radiant detergent. Everybody Radiant, Radiant, shine, oh.
Shine like diamond, do yanga like peacock. The new Radiant detergent powder go make your old and new clothes them bright like star. And the price na shaking money.
Everybody Radiant, Radiant, shine, oh.
Radiant detergent powder, dazzling bright clothes.
Babe, they open new now with correct 50% off store opening our woof. Like baby girl dresses 0 to 18 months for 1,616 naira. Boys canvas shoes sizes 10 to 5 for 2,800 naira plus plenty. Only for the new Pep store where they open this Friday at Ibadan Mall, Ring Road. No dog. 3 days only. 50% common selected items while stock day. Store opening specials for Pep where Ogunge Awoof Boku.
tí ẹ bá délé ọlọ́kà tẹ̀fẹ̀ tẹ̀ra yín lọ́rùn ẹ ó wí pé.
ẹ dákun ẹ fún mi ní àmàlà mẹ́rin pẹ̀lú gbẹ̀gìrì àti ewédú ẹ fi fùkù ṣàtì kọ̀kọ̀tọ̀ àbọ̀dì ògúnfe.
ṣùgbọ́n tẹ bá fẹ́ ra ògùn ibà ẹ wà sọ pé.
ṣebí ibà ni.
bí ẹ ṣe máa ra oúnjẹ sínú yín bẹ́ẹ̀ gẹ́lẹ́ ló yẹ kẹ́ ẹ máa ra ògùn ibà yín ẹ máa ra Coartem ó wà lóní hóró aládùn ṣẹ́rì fún àwọn ọmọdé má fi ibà ṣeré yan èyí tó tọ́ láàyò yan Coartem tí kò bá sí àyípadà lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta lọ rí dókítà rẹ̀. Getting to this destination took a lot of work. You weren't even sure of where you were going, but you didn't settle. You went for it. Destinations after destinations on
changing your pace as you walked along, never stopping, never going back. You've owned this journey. And together, we believe we can do even greater things. At Meristem, we are a stellar team of wealth managers, financial advisors, and stockbrokers here to maximize the true potential of your wealth. You've come this far. Let's take you farther. Invest with Meristem. Visit meristemng.com or call our wealth line on 0700 Meristem.
My name na Ife, but my friends they call me Phil. Every time I play, na so they lose like play. But as I begin play 1xBet, na so my level change. Now my friends they call me Efrebo. 1xBet, you go win. You go win so you go tire. Go for 1xbet.ng for more tori.
She's sometimes a judge.
Yeah, apologize to your sister.
And other times an accountant.
How much did Auntie give you? Let me keep it.
She's also a nutritionist.
Smoothie is good for you, Bella. Drink up.
She's even a musician.
Happy birthday to you.
Here's the mom,
Happy
the heart of our home.
you.
That's why at 3 Crowns, we consistently take care of mom so she can keep the rhythm of her family going. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Make your house this sparkle. She come make you nyama everywhere they shine you. She come from kitchen ground to tiles, sink. Another house surface you. She come make it clean. Anything where chick touch go shine.
Yeah, so your old bonga jig not the only clean white cloth. You still fit use and clean different kind of place. And to come out any kind stain for inside your house. Chick they keep 99.9% yama when they cause sickness for surface. Oh yeah, go buy your own.
Nah. Make it clean.
Oh, my stomach.
Stomach discomfort, burning sensation in the throat, chest or stomach, Andrew's liver salts, fight indigestion and heartburn fast. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor.
Morning Splash. Morning Splash.
Morning Splash.
Welcome back to Beyond the Surface on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. We're really glad that you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. And on Beyond the Surface today, we're looking at COVID real-life accounts. Real-life accounts of 2 ladies who tested positive to COVID-19, lost their dad to COVID-19, and then realized their entire family had got COVID-19. I'm talking to Moji and Buki, and they're telling me about their real-life terrifying account. They've talked to me about how they tested, realized it were positive after their dad passed, and then they tested him, found out he had was positive, and so they realized they needed to test as well. Buki is living with sickle cell. She's a sickler, like they say, and Moji here had, children she was afraid would also contract COVID-19. Before we went, you had talked about how you felt like you didn't want to test the children because you were just afraid that, hey, what would happen? It felt like it was the end of the world.
Exactly.
Okay, so at what point did you now decide I needed, well, let's start with, were you ever symptomatic?
Apart from slight malaria symptoms, I had like a sore throat. Like 2 days later, I felt a sore throat and I was like, sore throat is one of the symptoms. And so I started panicking.
Yes.
But my husband had, he started pumping with reload boosters and things like that. And I'm not the type to take
ginger and lemon.
Ginger and lemon tea. Oh, wow. Yeah, a lot of that. I was taking so much of that, And when I started feeling a sore throat, I was a bit, I was a bit anxious because my husband is a bit allergic to dust and he has this respiratory issue. My son too, he is as well. So I was really anxious about that.
Asthmatic?
My son is asthmatic. Yes. Okay. My husband doesn't like to say he's asthmatic.
In Jesus' name.
Yes, he doesn't like to say it. So
okay, so we just say he has some respiratory.
Exactly.
Okay, but what were you expecting when you thought, okay, I got COVID? From what you had been seeing or what you had been hearing, what were you expecting that you would just be mild symptoms? Were you expecting that, hey, I'm probably going to be carried to the isolation center, and then
I was expecting the worst. Okay, really, I was expecting the worst. Unfortunately, I didn't really show any symptoms. I was taking the malaria medication the first couple of days, and I didn't even finish it. As soon as I felt okay, I was like, okay, I'm fine.
I'm back. I'm back. Now, Buki, what were you when you tested positive? Were you symptomatic, and what were your expectations?
When I tested positive, I had the cold, the flu, so I kind of knew that okay, this was going to be something I'll have to deal with.
Yes.
But I thought it was just going to end with that. But then I realized I started having breathing issues.
Wow.
Yeah, I found it really. I'll wake up in the morning and then I won't be able to like inhale.
Wow.
So I looked up on things like that and how people. I looked up. That is why they say never Google your symptoms.
Never Google
so
your
I went on Google and they said, well, people die from things like that and all that. So I was really scared. I was even so scared to tell my sister. So I just pretended I was okay because I didn't want people freaking out and I didn't want to be honest, I thought I was going to die.
Right.
So when I just couldn't, my office sent me this oxygen thingy to monitor to read my oxygen level, and when I put it on, I saw that I was reading 79.82.
What should it be?
It should be 95, 99.
Right.
Between 95 and 99.
Yes.
So I did test my nephew.
Yes.
Thinking that okay, maybe it's supposed to be 79.
Yes.
And he's read 99, and I thought
okay,
time to freak out.
Right.
So I called my sister and I said, this is what is happening, and she said she immediately called her husband and he said, send her to the isolation center now.
Okay.
And in my head I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to they're taking me somewhere, I'm going to die.
So
I just burst into tears, and I'm not a crier. People know I do not cry, because I thought I was going to die. I'm a sickler. Like, why? Who am I to survive?
Really?
Yeah. Who am I? I'm a sickler. I'm already half. People think I'm not normal anyway. So add COVID to that mix. That's
not a good mix. Not a good cocktail as well. Okay, so you eventually went to the isolation center.
I did.
Okay, but before we go to your account on the isolation center, you eventually tested. Your husband tested. Your children tested. Tell us what happened.
So when my husband and I did the tests, and both of us came out positive, I was like, okay, you know what? We cannot overlook this. We have to test the kids, and I had to take the kids in for testing. Now,
tell us what the test. I've heard that the testing is very uncomfortable.
They say it's uncomfortable. It's really nasty. They have to poke your inside your nose. Like you feel like that thing is going to touch your brain. You literally feel like they're going to,
it touches your brain.
They're going to touch your brain with it. Yes. So they use this big long swab. They put it in your throat, deep into your throat, and then up your nose.
Wow.
So they take that, and then sometimes they take your spittle.
Yes.
But in the one in Yaba, they don't take the spit.
Yes. So children have to go through this as well?
Yes, they did. And they're actually braver than me. I was like, They were like, oh yeah.
Wow.
They're just having the time of their lives,
Okay. All right. So they tested positive.
Yes. And a couple of days after we did the test, it came out positive, and then before they even came out positive, my husband was already symptomatic, so we had to take him to the isolation center. So then I was like, okay, when is this going to stop? I lose my dad, I can't lose my husband. And at that stage, I was like, okay, I wish this was me. I don't have any underlying symptoms. He had, the respiratory issues, and, I was hoping, okay, why can't I be the one that will be showing this, and he be fine, So that it was at that point that we tested the kids, and then they also came out positive, and I just broke down, literally broke down.
Wow, having your husband in the isolation center. Wow. Okay, let's go to Buki real quickly. Let's go to Buki and your experience. You went into the isolation center.
Yes, I did. So when I went in, I thought, because from what I read online and on the internet, I read that people have been absconding from the isolation center. So I thought, okay, these people are taking me to this uncompleted building where they're going to just leave me to die. And I don't know how to scale fences, so how am I supposed to abscond from somewhere that people are conveniently absconding from? But when I got
people
there,
were actually absconding from
that's what I read on social media.
Yes.
That people have been scaling fences and running. It was that bad. So I thought, wow, I can't really. Might as well die at home with my family around me.
Wow.
Than die somewhere that I can't scale. I'm short. I can't scale a fence. So when I got there, I was pleasantly surprised.
Wow.
I got there and the doctors were so nice. The nurses, oh my gosh, the place was really clean, neat. The beds were on point. There was internet, Netflix, DSTV. So I guess they went above and beyond to make sure people would not abscond.
And that was not even the VIPs.
That was not even the VIP. And the food was really good. So like I was pleasantly surprised. But when I heard I was going to stay there for 2 weeks, I was a bit,
You stayed there for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And your husband stayed there for 2 weeks as well.
Yes, he did.
So luckily, because my brother-in-law was in there, it wasn't so bad because he was there to, tell me how, things go, who to call when I needed something. He had been there like a couple of days before me, so he was going to leave before me definitely. So it was just putting me through the ropes and all of that. So it wasn't so bad at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, Muji, sorry you're emotional, but I mean, the children eventually were asymptomatic throughout.
Yes, they were. But at that time, I just broke down and I thought, okay, I stopped picking my calls, I stopped talking, I just went into this depression, and my husband kept trying to bring me out. You have to eat, you have to take care of yourself, you have to do this and you have to do that, but the children were just having fun. If you ask them now, they'll tell you, oh, that was the best time. We were playing on our tabs every day, we were watching TV every day. We were just, they were just having fun.
Yeah, but you were just monitoring them to see if anything.
Yes,
even your son that's asthmatic.
Yes, nothing, not even the slightest, nothing.
Yeah. We have heard that children sort of do better with COVID, as in comparison to adults.
Exactly.
So this is definitely proof.
Yes, they were just playing. When we had to go to take our medication, the doctors were just like, wow, look at these children.
Oh, bubbly.
Yeah, that this family, they don't even look like they have anything. If it wasn't that the test results were positive, it really wouldn't you wouldn't have known.
Right. So I mean, Buki, as a sickler, so you had to go into did you have to tell them your condition? Did they know your pre-condition, and did they treat you differently?
Yeah, I had to tell them. But well, looking at me, you might not know I'm a sickler. If you're not a doctor, you definitely would not know I'm a sickler. So immediately I said to the doctor, I'm a sickler.
Yes.
He looked at me and said, I can see your eyes.
Okay.
And he just kept encouraging me because COVID-19 is more about the mind. You have to, it's more about your mental state has to be on point for you to survive, for you to go through those weeks of, torture.
2 weeks of thinking what's going to happen to me. Because then you hear people have died. You hear of people who, I mean, we had a governor here in Oyo State, a former governor, and you hear people like this, so you think, no, never. And you think, oh, poor old me, what's going to happen to me? So, I mean, how did you keep your mind up?
Well, I just really, because people kept calling me to say, you can do this, you can do this, and people were praying for me. So in my head, I'm thinking, people are praying for me. I better not let them down. So I'll wake up in the morning around 6 o'clock, pick up my Bible, read my Bible, sing, go on YouTube, sing a lot, go on social media, read. And I avoided anything COVID-19 on social media because it has a way of messing with you. By the time you read that someone died recently, I'm thinking, who am I to live when somebody's dying, when someone is dying beside you? And then there were people beside me too that were really ill. And at some point I had to use the oxygen, and in my head I'm thinking, okay, I have to use this oxygen. I think I'm going to die because I just had flashbacks of my dad because he was on the oxygen and then he passed. So in my head I'm thinking, I'm on this oxygen, this is the step to death.
Oh wow.
But I just tried. I had friends, thank God for my support system. I had family that were calling me every day, friends that would call me every day just to not talk about the illness but just to cheer me up, gist. And so that kept me out of sinking into depression.
Amazing. How did you keep your mind and your spirit up?
Yes, thank God for support system. Like Buki said, I had my friends calling every day. I had my pastor in church calling and praying, and then my husband is also involved in Capro, that's the missions, and they were praying. So I think those prayers gave me strength. At that time I didn't know they were praying, but I felt this strength from nowhere, and I also kept on listening to music and praying and just worshiping and knowing that just really praying for God's mercy, because at the time I just felt God, I don't know, I prayed that my dad should not die. He died. I prayed that I should not be positive. I came out positive. So at that time I thought,
God is not answering any of my prayers.
So I might as well just give myself and say, oh God, I'm yours, just take me. So that was it at the time.
So it took about 2 weeks before you went to retest.
Yes.
And then it came back.
Yes. It was about 3 weeks for us. Yes.
4 weeks.
It was 4 weeks for her.
I know you've been certified negative, COVID-19 negative.
Yes.
How does that feel?
It feels, for me, it was more like a relief, because I thought,
Wow, your family went through a lot.
I couldn't wait to get to that point. You know, at the time I got the negative, I had to redo the test because of my workplace, and it came out negative again. So, you know, that was for me a really
fantastic,
joyful time.
Big up to your support system and your company, for example, sending you an oxygen monitor, being there, paying you salaries. Big up to organizations that really, and support systems that really do help people through this COVID. Now let's talk about, before we let you go, stigmatization. Are you afraid some of your friends, because Nigerians can stigmatize for Africa, you know, so have you had to meet up with any of your friends? Have any of your friends shown that I don't think I want to see you because I can't be sure that you will? So what are your thoughts on stigmatization after this?
Well, my friends have been really cool about this. They don't even act like I had any kind of illness or anything that they could have contracted from me. They hug me, and I'm not big on hugs, so I keep telling people that I don't mind being stigmatized. They're going to stay away from me. So stay away from me, stigmatize me, please. Right. So I really don't care about. I believe anybody that will stigmatize me is just doing themselves. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah. So it has nothing to do with me. People I'm actually most worried about are the ones that don't believe that there's COVID out there. So because you read on social media and you see that it's people that actually did not believe that actually contract it and then die from it. You read that, this person was a skeptic, and then he threw a big party, and next thing he has it, and next thing is on support,
life support
on
system,
oxygen, is in the ICU, and is, you know, next thing he's dead. So those are the ones I'm really, really worried about. So.
Wow. Fanta, how about you, Moji? Stigmatization, have any of your friends reached out?
No, a lot of my friends reached out. I remember I actually went to see one of my friends, and I was like, you know, each time I go, I go off, and I'm always holding myself back, you know. And I remember one of my friends, as soon as she saw me, she gave me a big hug. That was the first hug since my dad died. No one, you know, you couldn't really hug, you couldn't, you know, but that hug, it went a long way. Wow. It was, I don't think I ever told her really, but for me, it was really,
it meant a lot.
Yes, it did.
It meant a lot. Oh, wow. Okay, well, I wish you had more time, but thank you so much, ladies, for coming on my show and talking about your real life account of COVID-19. If you didn't believe it was real, well, these are two real life. You can watch it back on our Facebook. You can watch it back and hear their stories. I mean, it must have been terrifying, and I'm really glad that you have your negative report. Thank you very much for doing this, ladies, and I wish you all the best from here on. All right, that's it on Beyond the Surface. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the show. Oral Biri Women Matters is landing at 10 o'clock with Fola, Kemi, Mighty, and myself, so make sure to join us. We have gifts to give away. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. Good morning.
Splash FM 105.5.
Orí mi wú. Ọmọ mi ọkùnrin gbá bọ́ọ̀lù wọnú àwọn tí wọ́n fi gbégbá orókè nínú ìdíje bọ́ọ̀lù àfẹsẹ̀gbá àti ilé ẹ̀kọ́ wọn. Ọmọ mi obìnrin náà tún gba àmì ẹ̀yẹ nínú ìdíje ijó rẹ̀. Mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ Indomie noodles tèmi nìkan fún oúnjẹ aṣaralóore pàtàkì fún àṣeyọrí ẹbí mi àti fífún àwọn ọmọ mi ní okun tí ó pé láti ṣe àṣeyọrí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìfi ọkàn wọn. Èmi ò ní fi Indomie noodles mi rọ́pò ohunkóhun nílé ayé yìí.
Ẹ̀yin màmá, ẹ jẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ yín ṣe déédéé pẹ̀lú ìṣaralóore ti Indomie kí wọ́n bá lè jẹ́ ẹni tí ó dára jù nínú ohun gbogbo tí wọ́n bá ń ṣe.
Ẹ̀yin màmá, kí lè dúró ṣe?
Every single morning, I wake up feeling ginger. No time for darling, so I stay woke like a dreamer. Let them say whatever, but I still there on the matter. And I promise to never stop till I get to the top of the ladder.
Introducing the new Peak Yogurt, the exciting drink that gives you tasty nourishment in every sip for you to be you, do you, and go for you. Peak Yogurt comes in orange, strawberry, and plain sweetened flavor, all available in nearby stores.
Go for you, you go reach your peak. Go for you, must go reach my peak.
Reach for your peak.
Pep is opening near you with amazing 50% off store opening specials like baby girls dresses 0 to 18 months for 1,616 naira. Boys canvas shoes sizes 10 to 5 for 2,800 naira, and so much more. Only at the new Pep store opening this Friday at Ibadan Mall, Ring Road. Hurry, 3 days only, 50% off selected items while stocks last. Store opening specials at Pep, where you always get more.
Man, I'm not feeling this edition of Big Brother. It's that pepper than me I like. Very interesting. If you're a fan of reality TV shows, then the Big Brother Naija Predict and Win promo is just for you. Visit www.betway.com.ng weekly to drop your predictions, earn points, and stand a chance to win a share of 5 million naira at the end of the show.
And if you love football, there are 3 options for you during the Champions League. A variety of fun options on one platform. So what are you waiting for? Betway. Game on, Naija.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o, Panadol Extra náà ni Panadol Extra. Ó tún ti ń bẹ báyìí nínú ìdí kékeré oníkápẹ́lẹ̀tì mẹ́rin láàdọ́ta náírà péré. Panadol Extra kẹ́nẹ́ ni Panadol Extra mú tura bẹ́ fọ́rí, ìrora ẹ̀yìn, ìrora oríkèé, ìrora nǹkan oṣù àti ìrora eyín. Tí ìbá ṣe Panadol, kò lè jẹ́ bí Panadol. Tá ìpadà ò bá sí lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ méjì, lọ rí dókítà. Panadol Extra ní paracetamol àti caffeine nínú. Kò sí fàlàbọ̀yún àtàwọn ọmọdé tọ́jú orí wọn kéré sọ́dún 12.
She is sometimes a judge.
Yeah, apologize to your sister.
And other times an accountant.
How much did Auntie give you? Let me keep it.
She's also a nutritionist.
Smoothie is good for you, Bella. Drink up.
She's even a musician.
Happy birthday to you.
Here's the mom,
Happy
the heart of our home.
you.
That's why at 3 Crowns, we consistently take care of mom so she can keep the rhythm of her family going. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Oh, my stomach.
Stomach discomfort, burning sensation in the throat, chest or stomach. Andrew's liver salts fight indigestion and heartburn fast. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor.
Pep is opening near you with amazing 50% off store opening specials like baby girls dresses 0 to 18 months for 1,616 naira. Boys canvas shoes sizes 10 to 5 for 2,800 naira and so much more. Only at the new